Hi, Kaylee. Thank you so much for coming in today. How you feeling?
Feel good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so I made up your results from yesterday's workout, and I was able to calculate all your information and just find out how you range in the normal population. So if you have any questions during this, feel free to ask during. It's no big deal. We can just talk about it. Okay, so for your vitals and everything, I got you normal. You were 117 over 76 for blood pressure. Your heart rate's resting at 71, and your respiratory rate is 14 breaths per minute, which is all normal. I calculated your body composition, and you have a BMI of 23, which is classified as normal in your category. And your percent body fat is 26, which is moderately lean. Um, I noticed that in your lifestyle checklist, you mentioned though you're trying to lose a few pounds. Something for that I would just say is I wouldn't focus more on the scale weight because as you're working out and as you're exercising, you're gonna be putting on muscle mass, and muscle weighs a lot more than fat, so don't focus too much on your weight. But if you focus on your nutrition and your proper intake and all that, because I noticed that you said that you have a tendency to overeat sweets and sugars or salts and sodium. So I would just recommend maybe keeping that to a low. And
What would you recommend cutting out?
mainly your sugars and stuff. I would say if you have a tendency, you said you love to eat desserts and you love ice cream. If you just kind of maybe limit yourself to having that as a treat and maybe not eating it every night like you mentioned earlier, I think you can see some improvements. Do you have a question?
No, I'm just listening. It's
Okay.
a lot of good advice.
Okay. Well, going on. Yeah. So, and also exercise does play a big role. So you did mention that you've been going to the gym a lot more and all of that, and I see that throughout your results as well. So we'll get more into that later on. Now, after we did your cardiorespiratory fitness, I predicted your VO2 max to be at 39, which is classified as fair. This is a fair range for the normal population for your age group, but I do have a few recommendations if you're trying to improve this. I would say a few things you can do is maybe running a little bit more, doing more endurance activities such as you do spinning classes, you can go on runs, you can do biking and everything like that. But some of that stuff can be repetitive and it can be boring and you can feel burnt out. So a few things you can do is you can try doing HIIT intervals and other exercise programs where maybe you're doing bouts of things rather than running for 45 minutes. You can try doing just mixing it up, getting into different activities. This can really help. For your muscular strength and endurance category, for your muscular strength, I got your bench press. Your estimated 1 rep max would be 94 pounds. This is classified as fair for your age group. As your leg press was, your 1 rep max is estimated at 207 pounds, which is below average, but we can talk about that a little bit more in a second. And then your hand grip was at 63, which is classified as very good. For this, I would just recommend, because you mentioned how you're trying to increase your muscular strength, I would just recommend maybe just doing a little bit more weightlifting and increasing your weights. Now, if you take down the reps you do while increasing the weight that you're lifting, you can see a lot more improvements from this, and you can see an increase in your muscular strength. I would recommend that for both the bench press and the leg press, actually, just doing more reps and, not doing less reps and more weight, that can really help. And for your endurance, for your muscular, I got your YMCA bench press at 28, which is classified as good in your category. And then your sit-ups were you did 30 per minute, which is above average for your age group. One of the recommendations I would make was your wall sit was a little bit on the lower side. And one way to improve this is you can even do wall sits just more often and incorporate it more in your workouts, and this could increase not only your muscular endurance, but it can also help with your muscular strength, because the more you keep on doing it, the stronger your legs will become, the more you can last. So like I said, using these muscles more often can help increase endurance. And kind of with the endurance for your muscular, it's kind of like running. Like running, the more you run, the more you get used to it. Now, the more you lift weights and then the more reps you do, the more your endurance will grow throughout time. So that's just one recommendation. Another category we talked about was balance. Your static balance was very good, but your dynamic balance was something that, as you recognized yesterday, you had balance air where you stumbled on your landings and it wasn't quite there. So a few things I would recommend is you can start doing more one-legged hops or just kind of like isolating one leg at a time and just maybe just doing Busu ball workouts and stuff like that. That can really help increase your dynamic balance. And then increasing your balance can actually help with endurance and help with strength because the longer you last, the more your muscles are going to work and over time it will grow. The last category we talked about was your flexibility assessment. Now, your lower body, you had a good sit and reach for your category. There's always room for improvement though. There's activities you can do for this though. You can stretch after workouts, and this can go for everything for the lower body, your trunk and chest results, and your upper body. Like just stretching all of these categories after workouts and just making sure you get a good stretch can really help improve your flexibility. I would recommend, if you're trying to increase this, I would recommend maybe doing 60 seconds per each muscle group. And if you don't want to do it all at once, because stretching one area for a long time can get like tiring and everything like that. So even if you do it in different bouts and you kind of rotate through, like, okay, 30 seconds on, stretch another thing, go back to that for another 30 seconds, just kind of mixing intervals with that. Yeah, and so I would just say even yoga would be a good area to help with balance, help with your flexibility and all of that. Have you ever thought about doing yoga? No, but
But I mean, it sounds like fun.
yeah, honestly, and you can see such a big impact from that, and increasing your
Just like
flexibility.
doing something different.
Yeah, and increasing your flexibility and balance can really help with your muscular strength. Like it all can combine together, and you can see a lot of improvements and just working out it often. Yeah. Do you have any questions?
So if I wanted to get leaner,
Leaner?
yeah, would you recommend doing more weights or more cardio?
If you're trying to get leaner, I would recommend doing more cardio.
Okay.
I think, yeah. But along with that, as I mentioned earlier, I mean, talking about the cardio aspect, it's good to do at least 150 to 300 minutes a week, which is, at least for the low end, it'd be 30 minutes 5 times a week. But also nutrition, like I said earlier, plays a big role into that. So it's like hard if you're doing just cardio and then you're eating horrible on top of that. Like that's not going to mix well. It's going to kind of counterbalance each other. So paying attention to both factors really helps.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
No.
Well, thank you. No, it's fine. If you think of it, you can always email me. But thank you so much for coming in, and I'm happy you were able to do this. I hope this helps.
Thank you. It was a lot of great